I am Sharon Holmes. Welcome to the She Shines podcast, where we are empowering you to embrace every facet of who you are, helping you to develop a beautiful balance in life, and encouraging women everywhere to shine. You can follow the She Shines podcast on iTunes, Google Play Music, YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you tune in to your favorite podcasts. Get in on the conversation. Join the sisterhood at facebook.com/groups/She Shines podcast. So get ready. The She Shines podcast starts right now. I'm going to start this show out with a truth bomb. I don't think it's going to take you by surprise, but who knows? It might. Here it goes. We live in such a self-centered, self-seeking era. When I was a kid, being self-centered was a bad thing. We used to say that people were either conceited or stuck up when they were overly consumed with themselves and their own comfort and their own benefit. It was enough to break up friendships when I was a kid. Nobody wanted to be around you when you were self-centered and self-seeking and everything had to be all about you. I don't know if it's because technology is so accessible to us now, but somehow, somewhere, things shifted. There used to be a time when we would give up our seat at the table or on the bus or on the train to someone who was older than us. We don't do that anymore. There used to be a time where you would hear stuff like, teamwork makes the dream work, and I'm a team player. But now we're hearing, I'm winning. All I do is win, win, win. Or, I did that, girl. Like, do you even care that you had a team helping you to did that? Selfish, just all about the self. We didn't used to toot our own horns. We used to wait and let somebody else praise us, praise our accomplishments. We used to wait and let people compliment us. And now all of a sudden, we are doing it all for ourselves. We're posting we're wagging our own tails, and then have the nerve to get upset and say, I got haters. They just hating on me. Do they even really know that we exist? But we're so self-absorbed that we believe that we have haters. I could get stuck right there. I'm just going to keep on moving. It just seems like to me, though, that everything nowadays is me, me, me. Even looking at television, how has TV changed? Oh my gosh, over the years. Can y'all remember how TV used to be? When we used to watch shows like All in the Family, That's My Mama, The Facts of Life, Different Strokes, Dukes of Hazzard. And in case you didn't know, the booty shorts they're wearing, they used to call them Daisy Dukes in the 90s. Those really came from the Dukes of Hazzard character, Daisy. We used to watch Good Times and Welcome Back Kotter, Happy Days, Matlock, MacGyver, Soul Train, The Golden Girls. Moonlighting was my show. Designing Women. And then don't even fast forward me into The Cosby Show, A Different World, Saved by the Bell, Family Matters, and Friends. I even watched Friends, Phoebe and all those my girls, right? Man, this is taking me back to all the stuff I used to watch. If I didn't name your favorite show, drop a comment. Let me know what your favorite show is, because I know some of y'all not millennials. Y'all knew about these shows. So drop your favorite show, even your favorite 2019 show. It's okay. We won't judge. So drop your favorite show. That's how television used to be. That was back in the day when you had to know how to act or sing or do something to get a show. Then I guess it was probably like maybe in the early 90s that MTV came out with this show called The Real World. Lord help. So that was kind of like the beginning of when reality TV became popular. It didn't really matter if you could act or sing or whatever, as long as you could create enough drama to make people watch the show, right? Maybe it was just people seeing other regular looking people on television or on camera that became addictive, that everybody wanted a spotlight and everybody wanted to see themselves maybe on camera, that we as a society became selfish. Okay, maybe we're not selfish, but we do have selfish tendencies. You got to admit that, right? Just scroll your timeline. Matter of fact, you can press pause. Just remember to come back and finish listening. You can press pause for 10 seconds. Go on Facebook, scroll your timeline, and count the number of selfies that you see in like 10, 15 seconds, right? And then come back. Listen to the rest of the show, right? We take selfies all day. First thing in the morning, hashtag woke up like this. Before we leave the house, hashtag workflow. When we get in the car, hashtag Jesus take the wheel. And then we finally get to work. Hello, you are at work. You supposed to be working, girl. But we're in the bathroom taking selfies. You know, we used to have coffee breaks and smoke breaks. I hope y'all don't smoke. We used to have coffee breaks and smoke breaks, but now we have selfie breaks. And I sure hope your boss, for your sake, does not follow you on Instagram, because they're going to figure it out, girl. They're going to find out. You do not have bladder problems. You're in there. If you don't come out of that bathroom taking those selfies, child, you better. Selfies everywhere. Then anytime, nothing is sacred. At dinner, you know, having dinner with our boo, just trying to have some connect time, and he's looking across the table at you, and you looking in your phone taking selfies. Really? At church, at concerts, everywhere we go, even from the bed, from the couch, the living room with dirty clothes and empty boxes, the devil. Clean that mess up in the background. Nope. Note to self, note to self. Clean that mess up in the background. I can't focus on the person because like my ADD is looking at what's going on in the background of that picture. Okay, I'm not fussing, y'all. I'm just trying to help you be great, you know. So when you're scrolling the timeline, you know, and I'm scrolling and looking, my pressure don't have to get all worked up because of the background on these selfies. Now, I don't have a problem with selfies, but the fact of the matter is that we have become somewhat a selfish society, and it's reflected even in our smallest actions. So shout out to all y'all. Shout out to all my sisters whose selfie game is strong. I see you. Y'all cute. You know, keep taking your selfies. You help me be better because you make me step up my game. But what strikes me as strange is, and you know what, you might as well brace yourself for another truth bomb. As self-centered as we are as a society, we do everything we can to keep ourselves from facing who we really are. I thought about something one day and it scared me half to death. What if every time I took a selfie, the truth about me popped up in the caption? Like, what if we took selfies and we had no control over the caption, but just some random truth about ourselves showed up that was deeper than surface level, deeper than the smile you saw in the selfie? I'm thinking, like, what would all these captions say? Would it say insecure? Overwhelmed, hurting? Would it say overworked and underpaid? Would the caption on your photo say hashtag trying to be perfect? Would the hashtag say cried all night last night? Or I'm so over this relationship? Or something simple like I'm struggling and I need help? Most people, although we love to see our faces, we avoid introspection. That's really looking deep inside ourselves. We try to treat ourselves like we treat other people. We try to take a surface glance, keep it real superficial, maybe because we're afraid, and rightfully so. You know what? I'll admit that it can be really scary to come face to face with ourselves. If we really look deeper than the surface, beyond the surface, then we start to see all those ugly truths. Some of us have been through so much, and those truths are not top level. They're not above the waterline. They're all the way down in the core of who we are. And if we look too deep, we'll start to see those ugly truths. And then some of us have these broken places inside of us, people who have hurt us and left us scarred and left us, you know, kind of emotionally crippled if you really think about it. And it gives us these self-doubts and these broken places hide beneath the surface. And so it can be really, really scary to look deep within ourselves. So I think sometimes we subconsciously make the decision or the choice to stay broken because it's too painful to deal with all of that right now. It might take me under. I'm trying to deal with getting my kids to school on time and paying the rent and getting the bills straight. And I'm trying to get myself through school. I'm trying to get myself through this tough situation, or I'm on a job that I really hate. And if I go down into those painful areas, I might get stuck or it might take me under. So I just rather not deal with that and pretend that it's not even there. Or we might have to admit something even uglier, that we were part of the problem and that we participated in some way in the outcome that we're seeing today. I'm not saying that we necessarily did anything wrong, but maybe we allowed certain situations to go on too long and it's made us broken, and we don't really want to look deep inside because we don't want to come face to face with that. And so instead of dealing with the real me, we fill ourselves up with beautiful distractions. That's what I call them. Beautiful distractions. Working overtime and starting side hustles. And then we hashtag it boss babe and all that stuff. And we do things like have full social calendars and we participate in every single church activity so we won't have to go home and deal with ourselves. We try cooking and cleaning and washing and ironing and finding the time to fit in a date night here and there. That keeps us busy so that we don't have to look really into the mirror. And then we have like a whole kids calendar. It's different than back in the day when it was just school and then come home, change your clothes and go outside and play. You remember you had play clothes and school clothes. That's what the calendar used to look like for kids back in the day when I was growing up. But now there are play dates. And then on top of that, you have 10 different extracurricular activities that we've put them in because somehow we thought our child could dance. And they inherited my 2 left feet, but I'm putting them in dance class and they're going to be a ballerina. We do these things as beautiful distractions so we can keep ourselves from really looking at us and seeing the things that we don't want to see, dealing with those broken places. It's almost like if we stop distracting ourselves, even for a moment, we'll realize that we're broken. And so it's a trap. While we stay busy, we stay broken. And we never even consider that broken things eventually wear out and stop altogether. So I know this might sound weird because I know that there are other listeners out there, but can we forget about them for just a moment? I want to talk specifically to you. I want to ask you to make the time. I know it's not easy. I know your schedule is full, but I want to ask you to make the time by yourself. Get away for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, and ask yourself the hard questions. Where do I hurt? How do I really feel about myself? Am I really happy? I mean, really happy. Is my life headed where I wanted to go, or am I chasing a dream that was crafted by someone different, someone else, and I'm trying to fit into their mold of who they think I should be? These are hard questions, and I'm going to give you a disclaimer right now. It might get a little uncomfortable when you're dealing with the stuff that doesn't make it to IG or Facebook. When you're dealing with the stuff that's behind the photos, the stuff that's up underneath the smile, you know that mask we throw up there. Does any of this sound familiar? I think if we be truthful with ourselves, we've all had some of those moments where we got afraid. Things got a little too real. We've all been there. I mean, I'm not going to even ask you to post anything public because this is a sensitive space for all of us. Nobody wants to wear our hearts on our sleeves or to show others the real deal. It might even be dangerous sometimes to show others what's really down there until we've come out on the other side of that thing and we've healed that thing. And then it's fine for us to reach back and help someone else. But while you're going through it, sometimes you just need to take the time within yourself to deal with it and to go through it and to grow through it. And so I'm not going to ask you to share anything publicly, but if you found yourself in what I'm saying. I want you to DM the show. Let us know, hey, I admit it's scary, but I know I need to do it. I know that there's some broken places inside. I know that there's some fearful places. I know that there's some hurts that haven't been healed, because She Shines podcast wants to be a resource for you, because we have all been there. There are places inside right now, I'm just be transparent, that I am working through, that I'm trying to heal. Sometimes it's like, I guess if you listened a couple of shows ago, how Tanya said, she was our guest who talked about domestic violence. She said she healed herself as she was healing others. Helping others through helped her to be able to heal herself. And so we all have those broken places. And I don't want anyone to have to deal with that alone, because I know that it can be really, really tough. So DM the show. Hey, let me send you some resources. Let me at least hold your hand as you go through some of the scariest places in your life, because you know what? I don't want us to suffer in silence. We have this tough exterior. We look like we've got it all together. Everybody else looks at our selfie and wants to be us. They want to be in Miami partying with a drink in one hand and the other hand in the air. They want to be the one who's sitting at your desk smiling with the headset on. Looks like you have everything under control, and you're suffering in silence, all alone. And this is a question that I ask people all the time. If you're always the strong one in your group, who do the strong people get to go and vent to? Who do we get to be weak to? So we suffer in silence. And so you know what? Here's the first and last time I'm going to do it. I'm going to contradict myself. I'm going to allow you to be selfish today. I'm going to allow you the opportunity to think only about yourself. Why? Because you have to do it for yourself. If you don't take the time to heal you, no one else is going to do it for you. So I'm going to allow you to heal yourself. I'm going to allow you to be selfish today. So note to self, it's okay to be selfish when that energy is being used to help you heal. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a disclaimer right off the top. It might get a little uncomfortable when you're dealing with the stuff that doesn't make it to Instagram or Facebook. We post the pictures and everything looks perfect. But behind the scenes, when we're having issues in our relationships and issues in our families, and when statements are being made that connect with that 6-year-old inside of us and takes us right back there to the playground where we're being abused or bullied, and we're 45 now, but we're feeling like that 6-year-old on the playground being bullied, it might be uncomfortable. And we don't let anybody see that. You might have to go inside and face some of that self-doubt. Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? How long can I keep up this charade without all of the cards falling down? You might have to face some of those pains, the childhood stuff, the bad relationship stuff. You might even have to face some horrible truths. I'm the one who let it get out of hand. I'm the one who needs to reprioritize. I need to make better decisions. It's uncomfortable sometimes to admit that stuff. It might be uncomfortable, but girl, we got to put on our big girl pants, and we've got to do it. Why? Because you're too precious to stay broken. And I told you before that eventually broken things give out and quit. You're far too valuable to give out on your loved ones, on your children, on your sisters, on your best friends. You're too valuable to quit. And so you've got to take the time to face you head on. No excuses. I say this all the time. You can't fix what you won't face. It's time now, girl. You and me both. It's time for us to face it so we can fix it. The name of this show is the She Shines podcast. And you know what? We're not just about the outside bling and shining on the outside or the pretense that we're shining. We want to get to the point where we shine from the inside out. We want to deal with the stuff we have to deal with on the inside because other people can tell. They don't have time to deal with a representation of who we are, a pretense of who we are, a fabrication of who we are. They are depending on the real deal of who Sharon is to show up every single time. And what's on the inside is going to radiate outside. So eventually, we may be able to put up a facade that we're whole and we're healed and we're shining and everything is perfect. But eventually, my mother used to say this all the time, what's on the inside is eventually going to come to the outside. Whatever you bury deep is eventually going to find its way to the surface. Why not go down there? Do the work. I feel my inner Iyanla popping up right now. Beloved, do the work. You got to do your own work. Let's go inside and let's do that work. So when we shine from the inside out. You know why? Because when I'm really shining, I could have a bonnet on my head and house shoes on my feet and I'm going to shine. When I'm really shining, I could not be invited to the platform. I could be sitting in the back of the room and there's going to be a glow on me because I'm shining from the inside out. I am comfortable in who I am. I'm comfortable in the person that I am. That's what really makes us shine. How do we do that? How do we get there? How do we get to the point in time where we walk through the airport and people don't know who we are, but they want to know who we are because there's something radiating out of us from the inside? That's the place where we need to go. We're beyond the superficial selfie. We're at the point now where we got to dig deep and we've got to pull it out of ourselves because there is so much riding. There is so much riding on who we are. There is so much riding on what we do in this moment, in this right now. I told you earlier, we're going to forget that anybody else is around and we're going to deal with only me. We're going to deal with only you. And so take a moment. I'm not going to tell you when. Maybe early in the morning for you works best before the kids pop out of bed. Maybe late at night after everyone else's head has hit the pillow. Make some time. I encourage you. I beg you. I don't beg, but I beg you. Make some time to deal with the things that you haven't been dealing with when you put that smile up, when you put up that mask, when you put up the outer appearance that everything is okay. Make some time to deal with what's underneath that. So when we get ready to shine, we can really shine because everything that's outside can be taken away. My car can be gone in a minute. My house can be burned up in a matter of minutes. My clothes can be gone. Everything that I have that's outside of me can be taken away. But any investment that I make within will always be there. So it's time now, girls. Let's fix this thing. Let's fix it so we can face it. So when we do post our selfies, that inner glow will beat any of the face beats that we do, any of the makeup that we put on. That inner glow is going to outshine all of that. I believe it can happen. Do you believe it can happen for you? I want to help make it happen. So don't forget, you're not in this alone. If you need some help, if you need some encouragement, that's what I'm here for. That's what She Shines podcast is doing every single day. We want to be in it with you so we can help you get out of it, okay? So let's get ready, girls. We got work to do, but I know we can do it. And we can do it together. You have been listening to the She Shines podcast, where we are empowering you to embrace every facet of who you are, helping you to develop a beautiful balance in life, and encouraging women everywhere to shine. If you are a woman who shines and you want to see someone else shine too, join the sisterhood at facebook.com/groups/She Shines podcast, and you can share the shine. To get instant updates on our podcast, subscribe on iTunes, Google Play Music, YouTube, or Spotify. I'm your host, Sharon Holmes. Until next time, shine on.